Join us on this episode of our podcast where we are thrilled to feature the co-founder and CTO of the LTE Team, a leader dedicated to enhancing digital performance and security, heading a skilled team of performance engineers, analysts, and database experts. They are at the forefront of identifying and resolving technological vulnerabilities to refine product functionality and user experience. The LTE team excels in performance testing, specializing in comprehensive audits of both the performance of system and the testing methodologies themselves. This allows them to pinpoint critical issues that could hinder technological efficacy, thereby assisting companies in optimizing their digital products for better market performance. In his role, our guest is committed to building strong, mutually beneficial partnership in the competitive tech industry, fostering growth and innovation. Tune in to discover how their expertise can transform digital challenge into opportunity of success. With us, Dmitry Pozdnyakov.
Hi, nice to meet you. It's good to be here. And with this podcast, I have heard the previous one. It was quite excited. It's good opportunity to talk here.
Thank you, Dmitry. And we have, a lot of things to cover with you today because, as we mentioned before, you work not only with tests but also with security. And I would like to understand more because software is eating absolutely everything. Today, we do not talk anymore about tech companies because we have pretty much every kind of product out there that is not, I would say, driven by technology itself, but technology right now is the infrastructure and is supporting the operations and all of the things that are happening behind that. And I would like to understand more about your view and how you have been contributing in these changes.
Basically, when we're talking about security, so we should talk about the security behavior. And it should be, so the source of this behavior should be from the people who use technologies. Because, and the first place here is education. So, even young children should know what is the sequence of usage the technology, like publish data in the internet, share the details, etc. And the way how what they need protect from, like what is the main threats in internet, and how your data can be spoiled, how your bank account can be cracked, etc. So these very important things, and I'm happy then in nowadays, even in school, they have a special classes about the security. But before it will came to the school, it's very important if the parents will talk to the child and explain by his own experience how to protect data and how to secure your data. So in case for example, you have some situation when your bank account was cracked, yes, so and someone steal the money from your bank card. Of course, it's like very sad situation, and perhaps you don't want to share this situation with your kids. But this is a good moment when you can talk about it and say, hey, I did this actions, and it came to this dangerous situation, and someone spoiled my data because I have registered on like many websites. I paid with on many websites with my bank card. I use CVV code or something like this, and that's why my money was stolen. Of course, when you are parents, you are like very, like too confident, like you want to play the role of big guy. You don't want to share your mistakes with your child. But it's very important to show, like, even you, like, big amazing guy, yeah, you can make mistake, but you can explain this mistake and you can prevent this behavior in the future. For example, you can explain that you need to use a special card only for internet transaction with minimum amount of money which you can top up, like, just only before purchasing something. Yeah, so, and you can say, hey, for example, my son, he has a like bank card, and I when he asked, can I pay for, I don't know, new game, for Minecraft, for example, I say, okay, but before you will use this card in internet, you need to create a new one, and you will use only this new card is for internet transaction. This is like how we can teach, how we can educate the people, like, from childhood, for saving behavior in internet, in network. And one of my friends in Singapore, actually, he is a realtor, and he was wondered how people, why the scammers call me and try to, like, do like phishing engineering, like social engineering, try to steal my money. How they know my phone number? The answer was, hey man, you are the realtor. Your number is, write it down on all websites about real estate in Singapore. Yeah. So your public number and your financial number is the same. What you are doing? So it's easy. So when we go to the technology, when we go to the some technical side, we need keep using the same approach. So we need to understand how people will use this data and what kind of data can be public and what kind of data cannot be public. Yeah, and in case you have a data and for example, you have your main business and you have for example, some streaming, yeah, when you talk about your business, it should be different platform, it should be different servers, it should be different network. So you need to organize your behavior, like when you build like a big and complex solution, or like something, you need to think the same way as you thinking about your, like, just a single bank card. So you need to split as much as possible. You need to create firewalls between different side, and the public side should not contain the main, like, vulnerability information, or some open doors to the your business side, your main core, your finance, or your confidence data. This is the main principle which should be used by when you design a solution. So it's a main idea. The rest is just a technology and like some tools which you can use, but the main thing is the design of solution.
Understood. I had not only read, but it happened to people close to me, as you mentioned, elders. It seems that today they are targeted. Let me explain better. It seems that they are one of the biggest victims of scams. We are having not only people calling them, somehow find those people numbers, but also they, as you mentioned, through social engineering, they are able to convince this person to not only provide some very confidential information, but also to conclude transactions. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, I may be wrong, but if not mistaken, there are not so much that the authorities can do about it, because they mentioned that, you willingly had done a transaction and there's no way back for that. So you think that is there a way, or is more about education and awareness? Because you had mentioned as well about tools, right? Maybe there are tools out there that we can somehow use, because once you was explaining all of the layers, like education, protect yourself, and use tools, it sounds very overcomplicated. I mean, the thing itself, right? Because not all of us are specialists, and you know this very well. So, how you think we could do that? Everyone that just like us, a average Joe, could do something in order to be more safe.
Like exactly in this case, the education and explain should be on the first layer, and you should for in adults, in your parents, you need to explain them that the scammers are present. Yeah, so they are around us, and in some situation, for first of all, you need to talk to the your parents. If more important if they like mature and like elder generation, you need to say, in case I will call you and ask for money, you need to double check. So I had my personal example because some scammers call to my mom and say, "Mommy, I'm in trouble. You need to help me." But my mom, she knows I never call mommy. I say, "Mom," like more focused, more, like perhaps more rude, but I never say, "Mommy." And she answers, she just answers, "Whom you call for?" My son just sleeping in the room next to. But it was not the true, but she just understood it's not me, because I never talk this way to her. So but it was a scammer who wanted to like do some social things. So you need to just explain to your parents and to your child and to your like all relatives, like the behavior. You need to talk inside your family about the scammers. You not like make it taboo around this topic. Other things, how technology can help with this. For example, if I would design the solution for bank account, like mobile banking, for example, I can prevent, I can say, okay, I will not execute transaction in case some active phone calls are present. For instance, the application will ask permission to check if the call is going on. And in case of active call, it can interrupt transaction and say, okay, sorry, we prevent the transaction. You can say, show a banner and say, hey, perhaps because you are talking by phone right now, we will not process this transaction. Please complete your call. Check if it's not a scammer call to you. Yeah. So it's easily to prevent if the bank application will design in this way. Because the scammers use the approach when they can hold your focus and don't allow you to thinking about like turn on your critical thinking. Like they should occupy your focus, and you should occupy your attention as much as possible to make this scam possible.
Understand. And this leads me to something very important, and will be very good to listen that from you, a specialist. Look, I also heard from people who I know that, as you just mentioned, double check is extremely important, because also you know the person who is talking to you. You know if it's your mother or some relative or brother, sister, and so on. My question is exactly on this point that we are living today. What about AI, when AI copy your voice, or maybe even your features and show off in a video, performing a scam, asking for money or anything like that? Because we have outstanding technology out there, and it will be used for good and also for not so good things. And this is one of them: scam using your voice through AI.
In this case, you need to use callback. So whenever someone asks you about money, say, "Oh man, I will recall you in 5 minutes." Like, just hold on, I will recall. And you use your phone and you make a new call, which more unlikely will be like interrupted and intercepted with AI. And so in this case, scammers should own the device itself to make this scam. So use recall, and it's for example, if you have a message from your brother in I don't know, like Snapchat, yeah. He asked you, "Hey man, I'm in a coffee shop. I forgot my wallet. Could you send me some like or some money on my mobile?" Yeah. So you need to use another uh, channel to communicate and re-ask, "Hey man, have you asked me about money?" So it can be, it's, you can feel in this moment you can feel yourself a little bit stupid, but you need to do this to protect yourself and protect himself as well. So
All right. So listen for your examples and suggestions of usually how it happens a scam. I could notice that is very straightforward and goes down very fast to money. So this is actually a red flag that you could use, right?
yeah, 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 it's one of them. Yeah, because the main goal of scammers is just get your money. So it's the main point for many of them. So, or I don't know, like you, but in case you are politics and they need some to force you to make some decision, it can be another thing, but it's not relevant to major amount of people. So yeah, for just the most of the people just have money, not like some political parts, but
There's something interesting that I would like to ask you, because we have been talking about scam, educate people and talk openly about these issues. We have tools. We have also AI playing a role into scams today. And security is a really big challenge, because we have more than ever business that have most of the infrastructure based on code. And how do you think this global issue can be handled in a better way?
well, when we can see on the global level, we need to understand this. Like the when we say global, we should understand our world is not the same. It's like big diversity of the people and between people wellnesses, between countries, between regions, etc., etc. And some countries and some areas can manage the situation better. Some of them can manage the situation even worse, and some places can be very good for a legal action, and some area and some country and institution are more protected against it. And I think we should go towards a situation when the territories and some states which are more like on development side, on development stage, we should help them to grow to the standards we have in the in the countries and in the institution which already reach some level of security, level of social impact, and etc. So because these areas where people are poor and not well educated, these areas can be like a childhood for crimes, child area from crimes, and it can distribute crimes and like wrong behavior across the world. I think we should thinking about this first of all. And when you see the people are not well educated or have lack of information, we should support them because it will lead to our personal security in the future. We need to understand this, there are a lot of people with a lack of information and with a lack of awarenesses, and perhaps they had no opportunity to know about the last technology or last opportunities, how AI can impact them, etc. And they are more likely can be victims of the bad behavior, and they, in this case, it can be a place for good place to for crime, and the crimes can be distributed across the world based on some areas or people who just have not opportunity to protect themselves against it. So something like this. So, and you can see this in if we are talking about the level of knowledge, it's education. If we talk about the level of be aware, it's more about explaining and how we talk to the kids or how we talk to the parents. It's diversity by age, diversity by region, diversity by, for example, access to the social media, access to the information. For example, if some area is protected, and create its own internet space, they can't, for example, some people in some country can't just read Wikipedia or because it's not allowed to work with this website. So some people use another Google, another Amazon or something like this. So people just have barriers between them and knowledge. So, and in global level, it will be nice to focus it on the removing these barriers and distribute information and to just let people make a decision by themselves what they want to know or what they want to trust. So I think it's the main problem right now, the barriers in knowledges.
Okay, so if I understood correctly, when you was mentioning, there's not only the diversity, right? There are so many different tools and also so many different technologies that you can or cannot access depending on where you are. And also the information that you can access or not for awareness or even to protect yourself. But one thing I understood clear, the responsibility in this case are individual.
Yeah, sure. Responsibility is individual. So when I'm talking, we should or like we can do something for the others. We need to understand that it will be our volunteers to protect ourselves. Because if I invest to educate people on my, for example, educate some child on my street, I protect myself against they will be not educated and they will do some crime. Yeah, so it's can be my volunteer like effort, but to protect myself. So it's in global level it works the same.
I understand. I see as well that is a very complex topic, right? I'm not sure if is if we are going beyond that and if we are going to have these or not. Maybe you understand better. Uh, there is some kind of institution or even company who provides defense. I would call it defense, okay, or digital defense, in a way that if you don't know much, maybe you are able to hire or contract a company or someone that will take care of these things in your behalf, or you think that still that's not the way.
So of course, company has spent a lot of money to protect themselves and hire the best specialists they can find on the job market to protect themselves. And if we are talking about like global institution, there is some program from United Nations about, and I know this because my child in the school, so they have some topics about, related to internet security and related to personal information. And I think the last, for example, in Europe, it's GDPR, some protocol which force companies to protect data, and I think it's very good initiatives. So we just need to check if company compliance with GDPR or not, and it's very good. So the companies can hire some audit and say, okay, we have a standard, just check if we like fulfill this standard or not. So it's something which already exists, and I think it's quite effective. And in your data is protected in case you work with company who follows the standards. In the United States, it has its own name, perhaps in Asia as well, but in Europe it's GDPR. So even the company is not playing in a European Union or European Economic Area, but they want to keep the high standard in data protection. They can just use this standard and implement the standards in the company. So it's something which they, first of all, should do and can do if it's just will be, if they won't operate in any area and they are not forced by law, but they can do it by volunteer perspective, so to protect data.
Understood. So I see that is very challenging as well, even for companies, because we see on the news, right? It's not something that happens every day, but we are aware that we have leakage of data, and even the companies protecting themselves, this kind of thing still happens, and it's important for us to understand that is where comes the individual responsibility, right? Because even a company spending a lot of money and hiring the best professionals, it does not mean your data will not be available somewhere else. Maybe it will be even gathered by a hacker.
Yeah, it's true. So we can't be 100% secure in this area, and like anyway, somehow data can be stolen, and we should be ready for this, and we should understand like how sensitive this data is. And of course, if someone stole your personal data, first of all, what he can do is use it for scam and steal your money, or like create some false fake story about you based on the data you have, like so it can happen, and we need to understand. So nowadays we can just reduce amount of like reduce the chance of this situation. And of course, it will be better to reduce amount of information which you can publish. So it's like data hygiene for yourself. So do you really need to publish the date of birth of your child in social media, for example? Or like, do you trust the company where you are working to share the information which is sensitive for you? For example, you can share only necessary information which related to the work, for example. So, or for buying the like this product or these services. So but you need to be prepared for this. Your data may be, sometime it will be stolen. So if it can happen, more likely it's happened.
I totally understand you. And sometimes, personally, I felt that my hands are tied. Why? Because when I am going to use, I don't know, maybe just have a subscription or some product or service that I need, there's the terms and also the privacy policy. And things are so fast today, and not only fast but convenient, that most of the time I do not even read that. And in there, of course, they want to state what they will or not do with my personal information. And I am actually granting them the powers to do so. However, if I do not grant them, I cannot use the service. So I think we are in trouble.
That's why it's very good then in some region like United States or Europe Union, they had the same policy, like the same standard. And if you know this standard, if you agree, you can just check, okay, company this follow by this standard. So you can be sure, so you can be like 70% aware everything will be okay. But if they ask some sensitive data about you, so for example, I don't know, like what is your like group of blood, like something like this. So you can say, okay, I'm just buying the shoes. Why is it asking me about my blood type? Yeah, so perhaps I will not provide this data for buying shoes. Yeah, does it make sense?
Yes, it does. But look at that. This happened to me recently. I don't know, I don't remember exactly why, because we are in the year 2024. But for some reason, I had to go to the branch of a bank that I use the services. And once I was there, and after I had done what I need to sign a few papers authorizing that transaction, which is not a problem. The person that was talking to me, she put another paper down below the paper that I have to sign. And, out of curiosity, I checked that paper. Then I asked, hey, what for is this? Well, this another paper that I just put in here is for you to consent us to use your data for our AI to learn. And I said, I'm not going to consent that. Oh, it's okay. You can just give me back the paper without signature. The point is, I think a lot of people out there, including myself, are not reading some terms or some important papers or even things that you are just signing up for, and you end up consenting things that you wouldn't. And that's the trick, right? There's nothing illegal about that. They are asking your permission. If you sign off something, it's going to happen. It's actually your lack of awareness to not take that few seconds to check something.
Like I understand that like big company wants to collect your data, but they shouldn't do in this way you just talk about because if they want to do like some research, they need to ask you and like get your attention and say, hey, we are going to do these good things, you will help and you can be volunteer and help them. But in case they do like this, I face it with this situation as well, but even without AI, they even didn't explain why they want to share my data with third party. So I reject this, and it was so it was like the same situation, but it was like some loan which I took few years before this situation, and they say, okay, if you will not sign this paper, we will force you to close your loan like early, and you need to like we will force you to immediately close your loan, and I say, okay, I will not sign it, and we will talk about the loan like next time. So they didn't any. So, but yeah, they some, I don't know, like perhaps it's some, like the problem of executors. I think the people thinking if they hide this, they will get more, like collect more data. But nowadays they can like they can have negative sequence after this behavior, because you as a person, you can go to your social network and say, hey, I visit this bank with this branch and this guy told me to do this like this. So, and it can have like big negative impact. So I don't know why people still use the same like hidden scheme. I don't know like why this happens. Of course, you need to check all papers you assign, especially in a bank, and it's in other like companies related to the like money or something like this. So it's it's not a fair game. So you need to understand.
All right, so we go down to the financial world, right? Nobody's there
Yeah.
to play. Is there to make money, and they will. You allow them to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, financial world is like really crazy nowadays. But on other side, this like as any time is time for opportunities. So the innovation just going up, the number of innovation going up crazy. So you can use this time as like opportunity as well as just feeling about that this time is dangerous or at least this time is not stable, but it's a time of opportunities as well. Um, yes.
Yes, and that is sad but true. I heard that actually multiple times since the verge of the current crisis, and I heard that exactly like things are okay or not okay. There are opportunities in there, and you shouldn't waste a crisis, whatever it is the crisis. You can, depending on you or your situation, maybe it's opportunity to learn more, maybe it's opportunity to try out, maybe it's opportunity to do more partnerships and things like that. So you're gonna figure out. The point is, you shouldn't just stand still.
Yeah, you just need to understand that like the world is changing, and the world never will be as it was yesterday. So even today is different than yesterday, and the bad strategy is try to keep do the same regardless what's going on around. So because you need to change as well as like rest of the world changes. So it's continuously process, and you just need to understand it. It's just you know like there is a very good books Who Moved My Cheese. It's exactly explains this situation. Like cheese, your cheese just move it, and you need to do something to. You need to change. You need to follow the changes to find a new cheese. Yeah, it's exactly what's going on right now.
Well, you just brought, I would say, a childhood memory.
Yeah.
Don't that book, Who Ate My Cheese? I get to know when I was around 11. I'm not putting myself as a teenager with 11, okay? So I'll say childhood. And yes, you're totally right about that. It's exactly the point about adaptation.
Yeah, and you know, like when you thinking about this book, because there are like few characters and their behavior is different, and you can see the pattern of behavior, and you can see this pattern of behavior if with your relatives and with who next to you, and sometimes you can find these patterns you start following by. And it's you should understand, okay, it's I know there's the end destination of this pattern, so I should do another way, or like, okay, I know the destination of like changing pattern, so I will change my pattern and I will do another things. Yes, so we need to adopt changes. We need to keep learning, and it's the key of success for nowadays. I think it's key of success of any period of time. Like I just wondering, like if we talk about the history, and like we know about the kingdom which was uh, established in 5 or 7 thousand years ago, and we have knowledges about these kingdoms. It means when we are talking about the kingdoms, we are talking about the time when people know how to create more products than the personal can consume, and we have some savings, yeah, and this saving like extra product which can be exchanged to another product, yeah, and it will be a wellnesses of kingdom. Yeah. So just imagine 7,000 years ago, people definitely knew how to create more products than personal can consume. So the 7,000 years ago, people know how to be well. Perhaps not rich, but well. And next 7,000 of years, people improve these knowledges, be more productive, be more educated. So to now, 7,000 years ago, like when we have this history of success, we should every people should use this knowledge and be well. So people who reject knowledges, who reject this heritage of civilization, become poor and unwell only because they reject these knowledges. No one hides these knowledges. No one secures these knowledges. So the knowledges are open. So why people are poor nowadays? Is
Well,
it so? Just imagine how many knowledges we have, and how, like, what do you need? You need to product just little bit more than you consume. Is it?
yes, but look, I think that this is something very complex, and it's okay, we can talk about it and the fragments that we are dealing with. As you said, since the dawn of civilization, let's put it like that, right? We are capable to produce everything that we need. Okay, and where is coming the complexity? There's a study from many years back that I got the chance to read. As you just said, right? A lot of knowledge is just public out there waiting for you. So I got my hands into this study. It's actually a thesis, a master thesis, when a person did a study exactly on this point. Why we have the propagation of poverty? Why the wealth is not distributed in a better way? And the answer is right there. It's not because you don't work enough. It's not because you don't put effort or educate yourself. They suggested many different points that is showing the reason why the poverty propagates. And just to make it short, The systems that we have, they are human systems. We did create them. It's totally made up. And, we are in a finite world with an economy based in infinite. So you can see the paradox out there, right? Those systems which we created are rigged. Simple like that. And this is exactly what this study concludes. There are systems that maybe are better, maybe they are more fair, maybe they distribute more. However, there are other systems that are quite opposite. And each country, each region that is able to decide their rules.
When people talk about the like poor system, they put out himself out of charge. And it's very convenient to say, oh, system is bad. Oh, someone else like has a problem. My problem should be resolved by someone else, not by me. It's very, very, like famous mistake people does. So I think like personal contribution and personal impact on your own life should be on number one. Of course, you need help from the others, but first of all, you need to ask this help, and you need to contribute something for your wellnesses. And the system, I have seen a lot of bad system and not so much good systems. Yeah. So, but even with in this situation, yeah. So you shouldn't put the like main driver. Like the drive wheel should be in your hands, not in the hands of the others, because it's your life.
I'm going to change a little bit what we are talking. I think we talked very well about some points here about the fractions of the whole, at least what we can see. And I would like to understand more. How do you want to be remembered professionally?
Well, I just recall one situation. It happened in during the COVID time, when we didn't visit the office and like everyone works remote, and sometimes people, in case of working with new people who join the team, you not often understand whom you talk and what is the person you are working with. And it was like one funny situation, because in those time we hire a lot of interns from the local universities, and those interns work for the company, and it was like internship program. So one intern came in Jan, just right after the New Year Eve, and we did the knowledge transfer, and I explained how to work with the tools which we are basically working with. And like after 1 month, the newcomer joined the team, but it was a senior guy. And I asked this intern to do the knowledge transfer with this senior guy. And based on the knowledge she already got from me, she made this knowledge transfer. And after 1 month, I had like very funny conversation with this senior guy, because after 1 month he understood the person who made the knowledge transfer. She was intern. She like not as like a senior guy at the same level that he is, but just intern. And he was really surprised. He said, "Oh, I can't imagine it's happened, but how it possible that people so mature in the like new area?" And if you are talking me how I would be memorized, so I want to be memorized, but by like I want to be a person who creates this opportunity to grow, like like help people with personal growing. You know, like when people can easy start with new area, when people can grow on the like from the student level up to the level when you can't imagine that it's an intern, not a, like person with like many years of experience. And with creating this opportunity, I think it's like, because you know, like when we work with the people, we impact on them and people impact us. So I think it's like the biggest, you know, like pleasure to be memorized in this way. I think if someone can in mature time, you know, like when they will be old, can say, "Hey, on those moments in my career, I had this colleagues who helped me." I think it will be the best benefit for me. So yeah, I think this is an answer.
Yes, it would be a good way to be remembered, as you said. And this also, at least for me, it reminds me very well my leaders. So along this life, this journey, I had many leaders, and I'm talking, in a professional way. And the ones I remember the most is exactly the best ones I had. I had around four through the whole career. The not so good ones, I do remember them. However, I remember the things I would not like to do that most probably had done. And this helps me, to direct all of the energy that I have exactly to get better and to get closer to that person that I admire and I inspire. And once you get to understand more about companies and how they run and they play, you get to understand that these persons, at least the good ones that you met, they are really good because there's absolutely nothing asking or enforcing them to be nice to anyone. And they have been with you, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like it's amazing how people can impact us and what like because there are a lot of negative examples. Yeah, when you face it with someone whom you like don't want to follow for sure. Yeah, because it's just like like some crazy experience. And I think when if we are talking about the working place, and in case you are, especially when you are a leader, you need to create a working place where it will be opportunity place. So not only just forcing people to have done the tasks. Yeah, so it's it's just one side of the journey. Yeah, because like good environment is very important if you want, if you play in the long term. So what you can do it to create a good environment. It's not. It doesn't matter that it will be like environment with flowers and like good like smile every time. Yeah, it should be like healthy environment, when people can grow and people can learn, when people can say, okay, man, I have get all knowledge from you, I will go ahead. It is okay as well, then like when people grow with you and people go ahead and say, see you next time. Yeah, so it's okay as well. So because no one knows how we interact in next step. Perhaps sometimes you are lead, sometimes you are subordinate from with the people who was your subordinate, because like it's just a new company, like you keep working together. So it's very interesting world where we are living now. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is.
All right, thanks for sharing that. It brought me really good and nice memories. And understanding about role and the things that you do and you bring to the table. What you think that is the more common misconceptions that people have about your role?
It's funny, like it's depend how people deep understand what we are doing as a team. So and what is like because my title is like performance engineering, and the biggest mistake people say, okay, you try to crash the product, you try to crash the website, for example, but basically it's not our goal. So because it's more interesting and more complex than just crack the site. Uh, the difference between performance testing and, for example, DDoS attack, that when people create a DDoS, people try to send irrelevant traffic to the system. Performance testing, you need to emulate the real user behavior and understand how you need to tune the system to support those amount of customer you plan to support. And a lot of like big difference between, for example, automated testing and performance testing, because in automation you need to you don't need to understand the behavior of the customer. You need just to check all possible cases. But with performance testing, you need to understand the real behavior. You need to predict real behavior, in future behavior, and you need to create a tool. You need to create a framework which can repeatable emulate behavior to understand how system can work under this load, and what you need to improve in the system to handle this load. So there is one good example when we worked with a telecom company in Japan, and they wanted to serve like 1 million people with a system which was tested only for 250,000. And we had production proof that system can handle 250,000 subscribers, but how it will behave with 1,000,000 people, will do some task in the system. The behavior we can predict, and the biggest challenge in the performance testing is not to create a script or create like something which make a load. The biggest challenge is predict the future behavior of the customer and create a model which will be as close as possible reproduce this behavior. This is main challenge. And this is a main misconception about my role when people ask what tool you are using and why this tool or why not another tool. My answer always, the tool, it's not so important, just 10% of the task you're working with. So the main task is predict what we actually did for those example with those companies. So we create a model and check the system behavior, and in day one they onboard 60,000 of new customer without any performance issue, and within a year they reach this 1,000,000 customer and say, hey, it was very smooth experience because the first small performance issue came only after 6 months in production, like 6 months with zero performance issue, because we spent a lot of effort to predict and create the model which as close as possible represents the user behavior for this system. And the customer, like main customer, the business was satisfied and say, hey guys, please do the same, but for 2 millions and beyond. And the answer was, okay, so we will do the same because we already have the model, we can certify even beyond this amount. So we, like, the mistakes, people not understand what the main problem we try to solve, yeah, and where is the main problem in it. And people try to define the place when system can't work. But for me, it's more important to define the condition when system can handle the load you expect, you need for your business to meet your business goal. So we follow by business goal and helps to create a system which can meet your business goal. We don't need to, it could be interesting, but it's not so important to understand when system cracks, when system went down, yeah, but because business cannot have any effort from this information. So imagine your website will be down in conditions ABC, but for your business succeed, you need condition XYZ. So we need to check the condition XYZ and make sure your system can fit these conditions, can serve these conditions. So this is main misconception. Every time I need to explain this, especially for new startups who just on a initial phase and didn't, and like the first performance issue on the horizon for them, because they just grow. So performance testing, when I came to the company, it's usually company with 5 or 7 years old already, and with some customer base. So before this, startups don't need performance testing in much cases. In the most cases, they don't have. But when company grow, when company became to be enterprise or pretend to be enterprise, when customer base is growing up. So yeah, people face it with this problem and they try to find the way how to solve this problem. So sometimes they are lucky to have a good advisor in this area.
Understand. So there's kind of interesting things that you mentioned here, and one of them I read years ago from Martin Fowler, where he says that we actually need to be careful when somehow we want to optimize things ahead of time. And listening to you, it reminds me because you mentioned that small companies or even startup or even a new product that it doesn't have that much users or even load, it may not need that. But when it comes to a level where you are enterprise, that is the point that you need to keep it close to your heart. Did I understand correctly?
Yeah, exactly. In 2029, I was in a web summit in Lisbon, and it was a lot of startups in stage A on B of investment. And I talk with many of them. I have a big list of contacts in after this event, but 90% of them are not ready, and performance is not a challenge for them because they have a lot of other challenges, and they have to be focused on them to to create a possibility to have as a problem with performance, because problem with performance means you have a lot of data or a lot of customer you need to handle. So before this, they need to solve a lot of other problems. But another thing of this, some big companies forgot or have not aware or have not paid so much attention to the problem which they have because of lack of performance. And for big company, if for startups we can say, okay, they optimize it, they try to be more focused to solve the current problem. But for big companies who ignore this problem of performance, it can leads to number of problems, and it's very often leads to financial losses as well, because it have just direct relation, application performance and people performance and company performance. So in case you cannot handle the load for big companies, it becomes a big problem as well. But for startups, as I told, on the many startups are not even survive until the step they need to have a performance testing. That's why we're more focused on a company who has, for example, if we talk about startups, it's like C level of investment, because A, B level, it's just understanding this, like if idea is valuable, and once they need to grow, they face it with the performance challenges.
Understand. This also applies, even for small companies when they have a plan to grow. As you said, right? You had helped to prepare a platform. I will call like that, and that platform need to handle around 1 million users, right? Customers, and later on, that target doubled, which is just fine because it's a really good problem, right? It means the product is working and people is willing for more.
Yeah, the company don't need to waste the resources like for example, cloud resources to handle 2 millions if they had a plan to handle in this year only 1 million. So you don't need to provision more resources than just enough to handle the plan you plan for this year. Yeah. So if you understand that your business has like physical limitation, like to grow faster, you don't need to over provision resources. You can do it step by step based on your forecast and based on the real situation. But you need to understand what you need, what has to be tuned when product is growing. Yeah, so because it's not enough. It's very common mistakes when people try. Okay, I will use the same environment, just make it double. The same resources, just double resources, and it should be enough. It's one of the mistakes because the resources in complex IT solution, you have number of things, and it never work like this. So because you need to some pieces of your infrastructure can be increased 2 times. Some pieces you even shouldn't be increased. Yeah, something should be rewrite and rebuild at all because it faced with some limitation which can be just resolved by extended environment. So that's why performance testing is needed, because it's not just like like filling the balloon with the gas, like it just the same expansion in all direction, like it should be more like navigated of this expansion. That's why performance testing is needed, and sometimes you are really surprised where's the bottlenecks and which place needs to be rebuilt to serve some level of capacity.
Okay, understood. So as you said, when it comes to test the performance of what you have, of course, based in a specific target, and it's usually a growth target that you have in mind, I mean, before happens, right? You mentioned that you're going to spend some time in the parts of the systems because you need to understand which one of them is the bottleneck. Also, you are going to do that on demand. It means that, if I understood correctly, first, when you are doing the performance tests and you are preparing the environment, know the things that you have, first, you are already planning for something that is you are willing for. It's a target. You're not there yet, but you have a plan to get in there. And you want to be there in a good stand because you want to understand how much your system support. The second thing that I understand from you is that you are not going to, let's say, improve the whole system. You are going to put a load into the system, and we are going to figure out the parts that are the bottleneck. And then comes the third part. We are going to work out only on the bottlenecks. And this reminds me something very important, because this sequence of actions reminds me God Rat and his method.
Yeah. So because like if I ask you to change everything, you will not do any, because it's impossible to change everything. The team effort, developer team effort, should be focused on a problem and has a fast outcomes, fast result with the changes. It can be like mental awareness, like award for like to keep going, keep doing. So if you try to change everything, it like leads you to just wastage of your attention, wastage of your time, and not only like you as a person, but you as a representative of the company, all company will lose the time with trying to change everything. So you need to focus on the point which the most, you can say, bottleneck, or it can be point of, like, if you change it, it will impact more points than bigger amount points, some weaknesses with low priority. No, because if for example, if it's login page, and people cannot log in, if you improve the login page, you unblock all the other pages. You can unblock a lot of customers. Like a lot of users. And if it's like main page, and the load time of the main page is bigger than people can expect, it impact all customers. Yes, change this. Or if you compare with, I don't know, like who we are page, like which unlikely be chosen by customer. It doesn't matter to change this page because the impact will be really limited. So we need to focus on the problem, and we need to understand, if we resolve this issue, we can reach a business target. If we say, if we resolve this problem and we just will be good, it doesn't matter. It doesn't motivate people, and even it doesn't motivate the investors. Why we should change something just to make it fancy, rather than change something to really resolve a problem. In this case, we need to work a lot with priority, what we are doing and why.
Well, I'm very thankful for talking to you today, Dmitry, because you explain in a very clear way something truly amazing. As we mentioned before, you pretty much explained the critical chain. And the critical chain is highly sophisticated. I really love it. It's really good. And I wanted to understand more. What's the most valuable lesson that you have learned in your career?
Wow, most valuable. I don't know. Perhaps the most valuable lessons is something somewhere in the future. But for now, I understand there is a few things to make your work reasonable. It's people whom you work with, and it's very important to who are next to you. And another things, I think it's a changes. Like changes are happens, and sometimes the approach which looks fine and was used many times before, sometimes this approach doesn't work today. And you need to be flexible, just not follow the same what you did yesterday. You need to learn every day. It's the most important for now. So you need to work with people, and you need to learn. This is two things which is the most impacted on my career.
I like what you say in many ways, and you're not the first person saying so about the changes that we have no control over it. However, we can control ourselves and how we behave based on the change. And that is when comes what you mentioned many times in here, that is about adapt. And it comes all together with learn, right? Keep learning, keep developing yourself, keep curious. And this brings us back from Socrates that he stated, I know that I know nothing. And that was his way to learn more and to also be willing to learn more. And it's totally right. And we got that lesson.
Yeah, I like there is a good geometrical mass explanation of this. If you imagine a circle and the circle of your all knowledges and the border of this circle, it's when your knowledges face it with unknown area. And in case you increase your knowledges, you increase the radius of this circle. So the border of unknown area will grow because radius will grow, and you will face it with more and more unknown area, and so like depends on growing your knowledges, and unknown area will grow and grow. So that's why the Greek philosophers say, as much I know, I understood, I unknown even more. So yeah, it's that's why we interact with a lot of topics today, with a lot of areas which we can interact, and a lot of areas which we don't touch even more than we can cover with one conversation.
Yes, Dimitri, you're right about that. You have final thoughts?
As I told, if we back to the companies which we are working for and which ask the performance services, it's very interesting situation with company who create a product for internal usage. For example, for banks, create software when only banks staff work with. So and they can ignore the performance because like idea is the staff will not reject this software, because they have to use it on daily basis. So we don't care about how fast or how slow this software will operate. And this is the biggest mistake and biggest problem of management of this kind of companies. Because when people use tools which work slow, which unproductive, how we can expect the productive from these people who use it? So how entire system can be productive if software unproductive? And these things, it's very interesting because some company understood this problem and already invest to solve it, but another companies just ignore this problem. And I give you an example. If person can lose attention, because nowadays the most important is attention person. So imagine you start some processes and this process is interrupted because of, I don't know, like application is processing something or just waiting time. It's too much. And the employee can switch focus to another things, and he will back to this task only after some period of time. And this period of time can be from 10 minutes up to 40 minutes. And in case this task should be repeatable by many times per day, imagine how many man hours are lost because of waiting, not because application answer too long, but plus losing the attention leads to losing even more time. We calculate for one of our clients, we calculate how many times they lost because of slow website, which is a main tool for operators. And it was about $300,000 per month they losing because of website is perform under the standard, perform under the threshold when people lost their attention. And this area is very interesting. And what we are doing in LTE team, we help enterprise company as well as a company who just grow to understand where's the place for optimization and how to change the tools to impact the whole process, and what is the main factors which leads to the losing the attention and leads to financial losses. It's more important than just to have a fast website for a pleasure, or just have a good I don't know, design or something like this, or like add new functionality to the website. Prevent losing the attention. It's something which like really important nowadays, and this is the main focus of the LTE team. It's like low text experts team, and especially we are focusing on this. And our main goal is make the world better, and when you don't need to wastage your time, because the main assets people have in his life, it's the time, and the second asset is attention. By keeping attention, we help people to achieve their goals and save time as a main asset in life. Yeah, it's simple. Just is it what we are doing? You can visit our website and set up the call. We can call you and we can discuss your topic, your situation, and if it's makes sense or not to implement the performance testing for your product. So feel free to reach me in social network or through the website, and I will happy to help you to make this work better.